All right, so for the last video of the series, so we have to talk about Palantir. All right, so I'm pretty sure that some of you already know what Palantir is, the whole company, the whole entire revenue model, the business model and such. But today, for the sake of this video, I'm going to break down some of the things that you might or might not know about Palantir and why I choose to invest into Palantir. So first off, we have to talk about the three different factions that actually builds up into Palantir. The first is your Foundry, the second is the Gotham, the third is Apollo. So of course, for Gotham, we all know that Gotham is all to do with your intel, your defense and such. Your Foundry comes down to your manufacturing, your logistic, finance, shipping, energy, etc., etc. Okay, and for Apollo, it actually comes down to about data and cloud computing. So Palantir as a product, okay, you can tell that Palantir is mostly a SaaS product, which is a software as a service product. Okay, so Palantir was mostly in the government sector at the start, but right now in the recent years, you can start to see that Palantir is starting to branch out into commercial businesses as well, which is going to be one of the main points for today's video. Okay, so first off, we have to go through the entire earnings for Palantir for Q2 of 2022. Very, very disappointing because we got a $41 million loss from the Q2 earnings. Okay, however, if you actually look through the revenue from it, they actually made $919 million, mostly from Foundry, due to the fact that, of course, government spending was cut due to the hyperinflationary pressure caused by Russia, Ukraine, and of course, with all the stimulus that was pumped in the market in the 2020 and 2021. Okay, however, we do see more of a shift for Gotham to do come back because ultimately, government sector is where the ones with the deep pockets, we want them to come back. Okay, so something for us to really comment about Palantir that I'm very, very happy about in this latest quarter is the increase in the commercial sales. Okay, I think that the fact that they are actually putting in more effort and creating a sales force was a very, very great move for Palantir, especially with how Salesforce are actually being created and committed to it. Okay, usually it takes a good 3 to 5 years for them to actually do it. It's better that they start now. This way, they're actually diversifying their commercial sectors, and I think that makes the most business sense. All right, so another big reason why I love the company, alongside with all the other companies that I usually talk about, is the amount of debt the company actually has. Okay, so Palantir, of course, right now they effectively have no debt. Okay, because right now they have about $933 million in total liability. However, for the amount of total assets that they do have, it's actually close to $3.3 billion. So effectively, in my eyes, that is considered no debt. Okay, so if you actually take the current market cap of the company right now, in the pre-market, of course, this is when I am recording it right now, it's about $15 billion in the pre-market. Okay, $15.27 billion. Okay, so basically you're paying about 4 to 5x for the amount of assets they actually have, which for a tech company, personally speaking, I think that is not really that bad of a deal. Okay, a lot of people do think that tech company usually we need to have almost a 1-to-1 ratio. I think a 1-to-6, 1-to-8 ratio would be pretty good because we are talking about a forward-looking company. And of course, with Palantir having such a strong retail movement and a pretty good product for the long term, I do see Palantir as something for a long haul. Okay, and of course, we cannot forget one of the most important things that will actually come out from the latest quarter as well, which is the AI integration with Palantir Omni and Satellogic working together on a SpaceX satellite project. I think that's going to be helping Palantir, one thing, okay, with the amount of money, because they're actually branching out into a different space, pun intended, a different space. And secondly, they're actually getting a lot more eyes on them as well, getting a lot more recognition for their products. So I'm very, very happy that Palantir is going towards that direction as well. So yeah, ultimately from my own perspective, I do think that Palantir do have a lot of potential. Okay, alongside with a lot of those retail traders, I'm pretty sure that this is not the first time that you heard of Palantir, and this won't be the last time you hear of Palantir either. Okay, a lot of retail buyers do think that it's worth to buy these stocks, and they think that this stock have a lot of potential. And I'm not even just talking about the potential that, this there might be a retail pump to bring the company stock up from the bottom of $7. I'm talking about just the sheer potential of the company doing so much based on the revenue model and the business model that I talked about as well. Okay, so business model wise, I'm a big fan of Palantir, despite the fact that my current buy-in right now for Palantir is currently about $9.80 or so across 3 different platforms. Okay, I do think that I will still probably buy the dip when it did do happen, but of course right now I'm really thinking hard to deploy my money properly throughout this kind of bear cycle at the moment. So yeah, personally I do think that Palantir is still a pretty good company, and that's why, of course, this is why this is also in this video. But anyway, that's all for Palantir, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.